quick trip out here on Saturday. I didn't get to make it out on Friday. Thursday, Chip and Chris and probably Judy and whoever else showed up pulled back about 3 more rows. I haven't touched that one yet. These 2 rows, we went ahead and did a quick broad fork, amended with a little bit of kelp meal, very light tillage to make a seed bed, and put in collards in both of these rows. And then our scholarship recipient that was a transfer from another area, Colin, I believe, he came out and he helped and got some experience with the broad fork and stuff. One thing I did here that I forgot to do on some of the others is after I put the seed in, just kind of hand broadcast, used a leaf rake, just kind of drag the soil back on top and incorporate a little bit. Then we used our feet, and for soil to seed contact, just kind of tramped it down. If I had a roller, I'd use that. And we seem to be getting fairly decent germination already. We watered it in really good. It's been at least one small rain since then. This row's also got collards. It's about a week old. It's coming up. Of course, some of the nutsedge is coming up. Swiss chard, some of it is coming up. You'll see these red stems. I believe all of this is going to be red stemmed Swiss chard. So that's the Swiss chard, that's the crop. Everything else is a weed. If you know it's a weed, go ahead and pull it. If you're not sure if it's that or not, maybe let it get a little bit bigger. But we'll see if we get a decent germination there. Turnips, they're starting to come up after having been watered good and having had a rain. That end, they're coming up real good already, very, very thick. So these are globe purple tops. So these are turnips, but the turnip greens are useful as well. So if you want to come in for some turnip greens, then instead of just mowing them down or something like that, if you take the larger leaves and leave the smaller ones, and then once they start filling out a little bit, they can definitely be thinned. But again, I'm putting them very, very thick because I wanted to act also a little bit like a cover crop and try to smother out some of this nutsedge. Now, it is the last day of August. Average first frost is about the first week in November. So we've got about 60 plus, just smidge over 60 days, potentially before the first frost. So some summer squash, yellow squash, zucchini, stuff like that, typically can start producing within 50 to 60. Now, we don't know if we're going to get an early frost or late frost, or if it's going to be right on schedule. I had a bunch of zucchini seeds, so I went ahead and threw some zucchini seeds in where this sweet corn is. I don't know if it'll do very much because it's pretty thick mulch, and in order to get down to the soil, I'd have to go way too deep for those seeds. But I've got packets. They're starting to get a little bit old, so I just put a whole bunch in here and went ahead and tagged it with zucchini. Now this is the mustard, and these mustard greens, again, don't take all the leaves off of one plant, but if you want to come out and get some leaves to throw in a salad, they're kind of spicy, so it's kind of like an arugula taste, but these leaves are perfectly fine and great. And you see we've got a pretty good stand down here. This stuff is going to be thick. We got a whole row of it. So there is some mustard and some other possibly turnips or radishes mixed in. That can be, you can start picking mustard now. This row I put spinach. It doesn't seem to be doing much, so I went ahead and put some more zucchini in this one. And somebody keeps stepping on the bed. I wish I wouldn't. I put some signs up trying to stop that. Otherwise, nothing really different. The new garden, the new bed here, Dale and Dr. Stanton and them put up, have been filling. Don't plant anything in this until Dale or Dr. Stanton lets us know, because they've got kind of a plan of what all they're putting in here, and they're actually going to be doing some soil testing of what they're putting in here. So let's not do like I did that bed, and let's not jump in front of them. Let's take their lead, make sure we take their lead for this particular bed and what they want to happen. Other than that, I went and got the rest of the posts, like I put the birdhouses on. Again, Dr. Stanton had donated them. On my way out, I was able to pick those up. So we've got 2 or 3 more of these posts. If anybody else has got a couple of birdhouses or bat houses or something, and we'll see what we can do with some of the shorter, thicker pieces, whether we do another small raised bed or make some kind of a bench or use them in some way. They are Japanese cedar, I believe, so fairly rot resistant. But that's just a quick wrap up of this week. And don't forget, if you haven't seen it yet, for those who are in the Master Gardeners and those who want to help in this garden next year or have any involvement in it, I believe it's Monday the 16th at 2 o'clock at the Extension Office has been reserved for us. So Monday, September 16th, 2 o'clock at the Craighead County Extension Office, we're going to have a meeting of anybody who wants to participate next year and help in kind of the planning and discuss what went right this year, what was good, what did we learn, what mistakes were made, and start making plans for next year. And just because we're making plans for next year doesn't mean it will be spring next year before we do anything. Gardening year for me in vegetables does not stop. I've already talked to 2 different landscaping companies. They start picking up leaves around the first or second week of November, and I've asked them if they're in this area and they're sucking up those leaves and it doesn't have trash in it, start dumping them. If you see another landscaping company or you use one or you rake up your own leaves and for whatever reason decide not to leave them on the lawn or use them in your own garden, feel free to bring them out here. Just if you would, put them in these areas that were garden beds last year. Put the leaves out. I would ask that you don't bring bags of leaves and leave the bags, especially trash bag, the plastic trash bag looking ones. The simple reason being, experience has shown in other places where I've been, and I think human nature is fairly consistent. If people, there will be somebody that if they start seeing trash bags, they're not going to worry about what's in it and why it's here, and if they got permission. They start seeing trash bags, even if it's got leaves in it, and they're going to start leaving trash. They're going to think, well, somebody else is dumping trash here, somebody else is going to clean it up, I'll just dump mine. Especially if they live out of town or something. At Marion, we had that a lot. People would come from out of town, dump it on an abandoned lot or whatever, and expect the city to clean it up for free because they didn't want to pay a dump fee or something. But yeah, it's getting that time. Leaves are already dropping out here. So if you've got access to or hire somebody that collects leaves, as long as it's not trash, I don't want a bunch of trash in it, but they can dump it out here on those 2 rectangular lots that are kind of tall, and we will spread those out and keep building soil there. Thank you very much.